topic is under renal system. So one of the important topic we can say about this renal function test. Coming first towards the functions of kidney. Okay, as we know all that about the functions of kidney. First, for the maintenance of homeostasis, responsible for water electrolyte and acid-base balance. So under homeostasis, kidney is responsible for water fluid balance, water electrolyte balance, and also for acid-base balance. Another important function of kidney is excretion of metabolic waste product and products of protein, nucleic acids, catabolic product, urea, creatinine, uric acid. For they are the metabolic waste product, and they need to be excreted from the body. So excretion of those metabolic waste products, kidney plays a role. Retention of substance vital to the body. Some substance that are very vital to the body should be retained. Means they should not be excreted from the urine. They should not get lost. So those are glucose, amino acids. These are very important vital substances for the body. Another hormonal function, secretion of synthesis and secretion of erythropoietin, calcitriol, vitamin D, renin, hormone. Right? So for this hormonal function also kidneys plays a role. Homeostasis, water electrolyte balance, acid-base balance, excretion of metabolic waste products, retention of substances that are very vital to the body. Before coming to the renal function test, some of the important background knowledge, like for the formation of urine. As you know that in kidney there are million of nephrons. Okay. Kidney is formed by million of nephrons, and that nephron contains Bowman capsule, proximal tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, and collecting tubule. The blood supply is very high to the kidney, 1200 ml per minute, and 120 to 125 ml of filtrate is formed in the kidney. Okay, means the filtrate, the substance that is being filtered through the glomerulus, that is the filtrate, and that which we call as a glomerular filtration rate, and it is 120 to 125 ml per minute. So mainly the functional unit of kidney is nephrons, and that is helping for the formation of urine. About the formation of urine. Okay, the process of urine formation basically involves 3 steps: glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and tubular segregation. Glomerular filtration is the process of formation of ultrafiltrate. Right? So because it is the glomerular in glomerulus, the ultrafiltration process is being carried out, and from that the filtrate is formed. The waste materials of plasma are filtered. Tubular reabsorption. PCT and DCT retain water, and most of the solar constituents are filtered by reabsorption. So after filtration means there is reabsorption. Some substance that's necessary vital to the body should get reabsorbed. Okay, and tubular secretion is there in distal tubule portion. Okay, basically in 3 steps the urine formation occurs, and it will be dealt in physiology well. So just it is over that. So in 3 major steps: glomerular filtration, there's tubular reabsorption, and different steps being formed. So glomerulus is where the ultrafiltration occurs, tubular reabsorption, and there is tubular segregation. Okay, here from tubules, some products are secreted again. Okay, different processes occurring in the nephron. There is glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, tubular segregation. Okay, so the functioning of nephron means these major 3 steps, 3 processes. Threshold of a substance is the concentration of blood beyond which is excreted in the urine. Okay, so you have to know these 2 term definitions: threshold, renal threshold, and tubular maximum. Threshold means it is the concentration of any substance beyond which it will be excreted in the urine. Okay, so here it is shown threshold for glucose is 100 mg per dl. So that means when our kidney is functioning normally, okay, when there is no defect in the kidney, up to 100 mg per dl of concentration of glucose in blood, it will not be seen in the urine. Okay, so that up to that capacity, it can handle the amount that is being excreted to go as the filter. It can get reabsorbed. Okay, so that is the renal threshold. Means beyond, if it is exceeding beyond this value, it may appear in the urine. So that may refers to as a renal threshold for glucose. And similarly, other molecules have different threshold value. Here it is for glucose. The example is shown for glucose. Another term is tubular maximum, TM, in TM, tubular maximum, maximum capacity of the kidney to reabsorb a particular substance. So it is the maximum capacity of kidney to absorb a particular substance, and TM for glucose is 350 mg per minute. Right? In 1 minute, 300 mg of glucose can be reabsorbed from this tubular part. Okay, that refers to tubular maximum. So this term, two term, you have to know the definition. Threshold value, substance. It is the threshold of a substance is the concentration in blood. It is the concentration is the blood beyond which it will be excreted in the urine. Okay. For glucose, you should know 180 mg per dl it is. So this is the threshold of normal functioning kidney, and maximum capacity of kidney to absorb a particular substance is tubular maximum, and this for glucose is 350 mg per ml. For minute, 350 mg per minute. Okay, so these two terms is very important, and with the example you can remember. Okay, same thing about renal function, production of urine. Main function is for urine production is the elimination of metabolic waste product, so that it can get eliminated all those substances. Control of volume of composition of fluid, electrolyte balance, and endocrine function, vitamin D formation, erythropoietin, renin formation. So these are the certain functions of kidney. Some of the renal function tests that can be performed is that analysis of blood serum, urea, creatinine, protein, electrolytes. So these are the certain general tests. So here we are talking as a generally. So for general renal functioning, this test can be done. Assessment of blood urea, creatinine, protein, electrolytes, sodium, potassium level. Urine examination we can do. Simple routine examination to check the volume, pH, proteins, blood, ketone bodies, and glucose. Okay. On the urine examination, this test can be done for volume, pH, proteins. We can say abnormal constituents. So if there are certain abnormal constituents, abnormal volume, abnormal pH, so this can be done as a general test for assessing the renal functioning test. Okay. So why need this test, renal function test? So why we need renal functioning test, different tests to identify the renal dysfunction. If there is any malfunctioning of the kidney, if it is not working properly, to identify that, to diagnose the different renal diseases. Okay. To diagnose the different renal diseases, to monitor the disease progress, and also to monitor the response to treatment. If any patient is under treatment, in that case also to monitor these tests are needed to be performed. Okay. So these are the reason why such renal tests are to be done. First, to identify the renal dysfunction. If a person is having a renal dysfunction, then he or she may be asked to perform different renal tests. Under that, it is included first simple test, general test like urine analysis, serum urea creatinine estimation. So these are the some of the general tests. Right? Other there are specific tests also for renal functioning to diagnose that. Some of the tests for renal functioning are urine analysis, GFR clearance test, right, tubular function test. So first we are talking the general biochemical test for renal functioning. Urine analysis, where we see the appearance, specific gravity, osmolarity, pH, glucose, protein. Okay. So these are under urine analysis. So a general test, biochemical test for renal functioning. We can do urine analysis and measurement of blood, is urea, creatinine, electrolytes. So that are some of the general tests. So first we are talking about the urine analysis. So under urine analysis, we see the appearance of urine, specific gravity. We measure the specific gravity of osmolarity. We check the pH. We see if there is glucose, protein, urinary sediment in under that or not. So under urine analysis, we can see the appearance of the urine. So as we know, the normal color of urine, that generally straw color, is due to the pigments, and the difference of coloration may vary from straw color, general color, to amber, right? Different depending upon the concentration. Sometimes the color may be changed. Right? So sometimes the color may get changed, and it may be it may also give the clue about different types of infection or different abnormalities in the urine. Blue-green color may be seen in Pseudomonas infection if the person is having riboflavin vitamins. Pink to orange red may be seen due to presence of hemoglobin, myoglobin, porphyrin, abnormal constituents, hemoglobin, myoglobin, porphyrin. Red brown, hemoglobin, myoglobin, red blood cells, genesic acid, melanin. Okay. So under these conditions, so the urine appearance may be changed. Okay. So also this may also give the clue that there are certain abnormalities or certain pathogenic condition may be associated with the kidney function. So this is under urine analysis. Just we see the appearance. What the appearance is there, whether color has been changed or not. Okay. Another, we can measure the gravity, specific gravity and osmolality of the urine. And both these gives the indication of concentration of solute in the urine. Okay. So what the concentration of dissolved solute is in the urine, that gives idea of that dissolved particle in the urine, both this specific gravity and osmolality. So gravity, specific gravity is the ratio of urine density compared to water density, and it provides the information on kidney's ability to concentrate the urine. So the range of that is normal range of specific gravity is 1.01 to 1.024. And urine osmolality is the measure of number of dissolved particles per unit water. And for the urine concentration, it is more accurate than specific gravity. 24-hour urine osmolality is around 500 to 800 milliosmol per kg of water. Okay. So this is about osmolality, specific gravity, osmolality, gravity of urine for urine analysis. For assessing the as a general test, you have to know, and it gives idea of dissolved particles in the dissolved solutes. pH. About pH, the normal urine is acidic except after meals, right? Generally slightly acidic, we can say, around 6.8. So measurement of urine pH are important for investigation of renal stone hormones. As a part for urine acidification test is there, which can be done for to test the renal functioning. That we'll discuss later about urine acidification test. Also the tubercular acidosis, so that we can measure the pH of the urine, and it gives the important idea for about the pH. Yeah, how much pH is there, so that we can get the idea of this, if there is a renal stone hormones, if there is condition of tubular acidosis, by measuring the pH of urine. Glucose, protein, these are some of the abnormal constituents in the urine. Normally, we do not excrete the urine glucose in the urine. So the presence of glucose in urine is glycosuria, and it can occur either because of increased blood glucose concentration or because of low renal threshold for glucose due to impaired proximal tubular reabsorption. So glucose may be seen in the urine when the blood glucose concentration is high, as is case of diabetes mellitus. So we have already known about the renal threshold value for glucose is 180 mg per dl. So when that level exceeds, okay, when it comes out 85, 90, then obviously the glucose will start to appear in the urine. Okay, one condition is there. Another is there is low renal threshold for glucose. Okay, means sometimes in some person the threshold for glucose may get decreased itself. For normal, we take it as a 180 mg per day. For sometimes it may get decreased up to 150, 60 like that. Okay, when that threshold value get decreased, then obviously glucose will start to appear in the urine in in low concentration of that also. When decreased condition of that normal threshold value. So itself, when that threshold value get decreased, then glucose will be seen in urine. And another is that when there is high blood glucose level. Okay. Another constituent is protein. Proteinuria. Protein in urine is an important feature of renal disease. Protein in urine is also important feature of renal disease. Normally, we excrete the protein less than 150 mg in 24 hours. In 24 hours, not in 1 hour, 2 hours. In 24 hour urine, there is only presence of 150 mg of protein may be there, and it is normal, we can say. And it may not be detected with different reagentistics, so special tests are there. So when it is excreting such level of protein in the urine, then it gives idea of certain abnormality in the kidney function. Okay, so proteinuria is also important feature of renal disease, very important feature. It gives a very much idea for assessing the renal diseases. Okay, so by measuring the protein level in the urine. Urinary sediment means the particles that is being sediment in the urine, right? And for that purpose, generally microscopic examination is required. So first we perform the centrifugation process of the urine, so that the large particles get settled down. And under that, for that we perform the microscopic examination. So we see the cells, erythrocyte, leukocytes, derived from the kidney and urinary tract. That gives the idea of different clue of their renal disease also. We see the cast, the hyaline or granular cast, a different type of cast in that sediment. And sometimes we may see the fat droplets, mucus trace, and pigment granules in the urinary sediment. Okay, so by performing the microscopic examination, also we can we can also assess the different types of diseases. And on the microscope, we see the cells, different type of cells, erythrocytes, polymorphonucleated, all the different cast, fat droplets, mucus, pigment granules. All these things are observed under this microscopic examination. Now coming to proper classification of renal function test. Classification of renal function test. So how the renal is functioning, for that we can classify that test based on different this functioning of the section of the kidney. Okay. So for as we know, the nephron has different function, glomerular filtration, right? Different tubular function, right? Tubular absorption, secretion. So based on different functioning, we categorize the test of this renal functioning test. Test based on glomerular filtration. About glomerular filtration, to assess how the glomerular filtration is occurring. So there is urea clearance test, endogenous creatinine clearance test, inulin test, right? Chromium 51 EDTA clearance test. So different clearance test is for glomerular filtration. So there is clearance test, and clearance tests are different types: endogenous and exogenous. Endogenous are urea creatinine test, exogenous inulin chromium 51 EDTA test. Okay. Now there is test to measure the renal plasma flow, RPF. Renal plasma flow. Under the para-amino epurate test, PAS test, and filtration fraction is there. Two tests is there to measure the renal plasma. And based on tubular function, urinary concentration and dilution test is there. 15-minute PSP excretion test is there. This is dye. Urine acidification test. So these are the different tests that can be performed to assess the renal functioning under different categories. So to assess glomerular function test, clearance tests are done. To assess the renal plasma flow, how much blood is flowing towards the kidney side, there is para-amino epurate test and filtration fraction. And for tubular functioning, concentration dilution test, excretion test, dye excretion test, urine acidification test can be performed. So these are the different tests that can be performed, and we'll be discussing one by one. So this is our classification of renal function tests, right? Different based on different glomerular filtration, plasma flow, tubular function, different tests are there, and that we need. First of all, this glomerular filtration rate, GFR. You know well our GFR. Glomerular filtration is the essential of renal functioning, and that GFR rate should be maintained. Most frequently performed test of renal function measurement is based on the concept of clearance. Okay, so to assess the glomerular filtration, to assess this rate GFR, the test is performed is the clearance test, right? So for to assess this glomerular functioning, measurement is based on the concept of clearance. So clearance can be endogenous and exogenous. I have already told you. So first about endogenous means the substance are present inside our body only. Urea, creatinine, clearance are present in the our. So okay, about clearance test, right? Determination of clearance. First, for the formula for clearance, UV by P. U, urinary concentration of substance. P is the rate of urine formation, volume. We can say ml per minute, how much volume of urine has been formed in 1 minute. P is the plasma concentration of substance. And the unit of clearance will be volume per unit time, that is ml per minute. And if any substance to be studied under clearance, generally it should be near to GFR. And to be equal to GFR, they should have the following properties. Freely filtered by glomerulus. There should be free filtration of glomerulus. There should not be any, we can say, selection in that filtration process by glomerulus, freely filtered through the glomerulus, and no obstacle, no hindrance. Glomerulus should be the sole route of excretion from the body. No, there should not be no tubular secretion or reabsorption. Okay, so glomerulus should be sole route of excretion from the body for ideal a substance to be studied as clearance, non-toxic, and should be easily measurable. So for any substance to be taken as a clearance, these are the properties they should have: freely filtered by glomerulus. Glomerulus should be the sole route of excretion from the body, and that means there should not be tubular secretion or reabsorption process. And the substance should be non-toxic and it should be easily measurable. So for clearance, UV by P, urinary concentration of substance. Okay. B is the volume of urine formation. P is the plasma concentration. The unit of clearance will be ml per minute. Okay, these are the properties of substance that is used to assess the glomerular. Here comparison is made. Okay, so we can assess the urea, creatinine, inulin as a to study the clearance test. Okay, so there is comparison of these three substances generally. So not protein bound. Okay, so comparison we have made of the substance to assess the glomerular film means we are comparing the different properties with this urea, creatinine, and inulin. Generally, these are the substances that we use to measure the clearance. Okay, urea clearance, creatinine clearance, inulin clearance, and the solid properties. Okay, so they should have the different properties we have already discussed to assess the glomerular clearance test. They should be filtered by glomerulus. Glomerulus should be sole route of, and it should be non-toxic and easily measurable. So generally, a comparison is made between urea, creatinine, and inulin. So not protein bound. Yes, all three are not protein bound. Freely filtered by glomerulus. Yes, all are freely filtered. Neither secreted nor reabsorbed. Urea, certain reabsorption is there. For creatinine, some secretion is there. Inulin, neither secreted nor reabsorbed. Okay, so this property is well satisfied by inulin. So easily covered, easily measure this. We are comparing the different. Now talking in detail about glomerular filtration test, about clearance. So glomerular filtration test is solely depend upon the measurement of concept of clearance. It is the volume of blood or plasma from which a measures amount of substance is completely eliminated in the urine per unit time. Okay. So this is the definition: volume of blood of plasma. This important. Clearance definition is very important. So you have to know that. Right? Now I am telling every time it is being asked. Volume of blood or plasma from which the measured amount of substance can be completely eliminated in time. Formula UV by P. C is clearance. Concentration of substance in urine. U. B. Volume of urine in ml per minute. Concentration of substance in the plasma or blood. P. Okay, unit will be volume per unit time, ml per minute. And about clearance, I have already told endogenous and exogenous there may be. For endogenous, we perform urea. Exogenous means that is being provided from outside. Now coming to urea clearance test. Clearance means any substance that is being cleared, and urea means the substance will be urea. So it is the number of blood of plasma, volume of plasma, expression of number of ml of plasma, right? Volume of plasma that is, which is clearly of urea per unit time. So plasma is not completely clear of urine. Only 10% of urea is removed once it is into that glomerulus filtration. Consequently, 175 ml of plasma pass through the kidney per ml, and 10% of urea is removed. This is equivalent to clearing 75 of ml of plasma per minute. Okay. So when 177 150 ml of plasma passes through the kidney per minute, only the 10% of urea is removed from that 750 ml. Okay, and that is equal to clearing of 75 ml of plasma per minute. It's actually the entering is 177 150 ml, but the kidney is able to clear the 10% of urea from that. That means among that 750 ml, 75 ml will be free from urea in per minute. So about urea clearance means it is a definition you know about clearance, and that substance will be urea in this context. So for urea clearance test, there will be first maximum clearance. What did by maximum clearance? Under urea clearance test, first is maximum clearance, maximum urea clearance. Okay. So in this context, when the urinary volume exceeds 2 ml per minute, okay, 2 ml per minute, 2 ml per minute, when the urinary volume is more than that, then there will perform the maximum clearance of urea. Okay. So when you keep the average value for everything, right? average value for everything, right? This 2.1 is the amount of urea in urine, 1000 ml of volume of urine, okay, 28 plasma concentration, then we get 75, right? So when we write average value of all those things under the formula, we get 75. Now here it is shown what that the 75 means, and here 75 means that does not means the 75 ml of blood has been passed through the kidney and was completely removed of the clear, but it means the amount of urea excreted in the urine is equals to that amount. So how much urea is being excreted in the urine is equals to amount present in 75 ml of blood. Okay, that and it does not mean, the sense is it does not mean that 75 ml of blood has been passed through the kidney. Rather, 75 ml, how much blood is being passed through the kidney, from that 75 ml has been cleared off from the urea. Okay, so that concept of clearance should be clear. So urea clearance, their first is maximum urea clearance. Formula is same, UV by P. Okay. Another is standard clearance. For maximum clearance, the normal value is around 75 ml per minute plus minus 10. Okay, reference range is that. About standard clearance, the clearance which occur when the urinary volume is less than 2 ml per minute, and the formula for this is U under root B by P. Okay. 54 ml plus minus 10. Okay. So this is for standard clearance, urea clearance. In standard clearance, the formula is slightly different, and this condition is applied when urinary volume is less than 2 ml per minute. Okay, in that case, there is under root of volume. Other formula is same, under root of volume by plasma concentration. Okay, so this the range is around 54 ml per plus minus 10. About creatinine. Okay, so you have already known the compound creatinine. 1 to 2% of muscle creatinine is spontaneously convert to creatinine as a constant rate, and endogenous creatinine is produced, which is proportional to muscle mass, and it is the function of total muscle mass. The production varies with age and sex. Okay, for this creatinine, so there is minor dietary fluctuation of this creatinine. When we talk about the creatinine excretion, it is not affected by diet. Okay, so there is minor variation of the diet. Creatinine is released in constant rate in the, okay. So creatinine clearance may be measured as an indicator of GFR. Okay. So for that, this clearance also can be measured as an indicator. Now, creatinine clearance, it is also the frequently used clearance test, measurement of creatinine. Small quantity of creatinine is reabsorbed, and some are excretely secreted by renal tubules. Only small quantity is reabsorbed, and some are there is to some extent there is reabsorption and secretion for this creatinine also. Okay, now coming to clearance of this creatinine. With compared to urea, creatinine clearance is better. Okay, when we talk about the endogenous marker, we comparing. It is neither being secreted nor be reabsorbed by tubules, right? In very small quantity compared to urea clearance, it is neither secreted nor reabsorbed, and it is very convenient for the estimation of GFR because it is the normal metabolite of the body. Endogenous production is there. It does not require the intravenous administration at any test material, and estimation of creatinine is very simple. Okay. Now, how the clearance test is done? Okay, procedure. 24-hour urine sample should be collected. The urine which is being provided in 24-hour duration, that should be collected. Okay. First thing. Blood sample for serum creatinine determination should be done. This should be collected for so that serum creatinine can be estimated, and urinary creatinine should be determined. We have to estimate that. Okay, serum and urinary creatinine. There should be urine sample 24-hour. In that sample, how much creatinine is there, and blood sample should be there. In blood sample, how much creatinine concentration. So when we add these things, we can calculate the clearance. Urinary excretion of creatinine is generally 0.5 to 2 gram per 24-hour. Right? In 24-hour, we excrete 0.5 to 2 gram in 24-hour. Serum creatinine is 0.6 to 1.5 times. So normal range of clearance, creatinine clearance is 90 to 140 ml per minute, 80 to 125 ml per minute in females. So when this range is high, a clearance rate, it is an indicator of impaired renal function. Sometimes there may be non-creatinine level, right? So when you measure the serum creatinine level, sometimes the creatinine level get increased when the the renal damage is up by 50%. Sometimes it may not give the clearly idea, but when means in normal condition also the renal damage may have occurred, because only the 50 after 50% of damage of that renal, that the creatine level get start to increase in the uh, serum or blood. Okay, so although it is good indicator of renal function test, sometimes the normal may not give the exact idea because of this drawback. Serum urea in adult. Urea is formed in the liver from ammonia and released in the deamination of amino acid. This urea you have learned about it. And we are comparing urea with the creatinine. Okay, why urea is inferior to creatinine? Because high protein increase the urea formation, so it may not give the idea of renal functioning accurately. And in any condition during increases in protein catabolism like Cushing syndrome, diabetes mellitus, starvation, so in that case also urea level may get increased. 50% or more of urea filtered at the glomerulus is passively reabsorbed by tubule. So there is passive reabsorption of urea. Because of the condition, urea is supposed to be inferior with the creatinine. Okay, so this condition has made it comparison of urea with the creatinine, and it is because one thing is the diet increases, diet causes high protein diet causes the high urea formation, and also different condition also associated for increased urea formation. So different formula is there for estimation of GFR. Okay, for creatinine clearance, their formula we have already used. Okay, now sometimes the formula UV by P, that formula we have to measure different in protein, in urine, in serum, that level of suppose creatinine we have to measure in for a 24-hour urine sample. We have to measure creatinine in blood as well as in urine, and that only we do. Sometimes this formula can be used for the estimation of GFR. Different formula are there. This is the one of them is Cockcroft-Gault formula. Okay, Cockcroft formula, and it is the convenient method to imply various formulae. Different formula are there, although this can be is widely used, we can say. And and this is used using the parameters like creatinine level, sex, age, and weight of the subject. Okay, when these things are known, then we can use in the formula to find the estimated GFR. Okay, that will be called as the estimated GFR. This formula, how it is calculated, estimated GFR. Okay, actually it may not be measured GFR, but it is estimated GFR. Formula is K into 140 minus H into body weight by serum creatinine level in micromole per liter. Okay, so this is the formula. So here what we have to know, we can know age by asking, weight by also measuring, and we have to measure only the serum creatinine level. Urine is not required in this estimated GFR. So K is constant, 1.23 for male and 1.04 for female. So in this way, when you keep the different body weight age in this formula, measure the serum creatinine, we can get the GFR, and that will be estimated GFR. Okay, not measured GFR, actually it is estimated GFR. Another test is inulin clearance test. Inulin, as you know, inulin is the polysaccharide of fructose. It is neither reabsorbed nor secreted. Substance measure GFR, and it is exogenous. Inulin is not produced by body, and it should be provided exogenously. The disadvantage is that there is needed of intravenous administration. IV should be provided IV. There is certain technical difficulties of the analysis. So normal range is 125 ml per minute in the and when you talk about the range 100 to 150 ml, so it is very close to our GFR. Okay, normal body GFR 125 to ml. So it can be taken as a standard for measuring the GFR inulin clearance test, and it is exogenous and should be provided intravenously. Test for renal blood flow. Okay, test for renal blood flow. For that, we measure the renal plasma flow (RPF). Right? So renal plasma flow, how much is there? So we have to measure. So for that, the para-amino epurate test is done. Okay, PAS test is done. Test for renal plasma. One test is PAS. So in that case, this para-amino epurate is provided. Okay. So how about this interpretation? At low blood concentration, 2 mg per dl of plasma, para-amino epurate is completely removed in the single circulation of blood through the kidney. To tubular pH, blood is very great. Amount of pH in the urine becomes the measure for the value of plasma clear of PAH in unit time, para-amino epurate. So normal reference is 574 ml per minute, means the amount of blood flowing towards the renal kidney side in 1 minute is 574 ml per minute. So this clearance, PAS clearance measure the renal plasma flow, RPF. So just you know the test, PAS test. So it indicates, it is used to measure the renal plasma flow, and the normal range is around 574 ml per minute. That means it is used to assess how much the blood is flowing to the renal. Another test for renal blood flow is filtration fraction. Filtration fraction. Fraction of plasma passing through the kidney, which is filtered through the glomerulus and is obtained by dividing the inulin clearance by the PAH clearance. Right? Filtration fraction, clearance of inulin by clearance of PAH. So clearance of inulin means it is very close to GFR. Clearance of para-amino impurities, it gives the measurement of RPF. So the ratio of GFR to RPF is, we can say, the filtration fraction. How much filtrate is from above, how much blood is flowing towards the kidney, RPF. Okay? So this fraction, GFR by RPF fraction. So filtration fraction means 1.5. Normally, when you keep the value normal, so it will be around 0.217, this fraction range. A normal range is 0.16 to 0.21. So this is about filtration fraction, and the test is done for renal blood flow. Test for tubular function. Okay. So different tests can be done for assessing the tubular functioning. 15-minute PSP excretion test is there. Concentration and dilution test is there. Urinary acidification test is there. Okay, this is for tubular function, how much the tubular is functioning. So I'll be just going to interpretation of this test. 15-minute PSP, phenol sulfathaline test is there. So in this test, the amount of dye that is excreted in 15 minutes will be taken as a criteria as renal functioning. 1 ml of PSP dye is injected IV, and normal kidney will excrete the 30 to 50% of dye in the 15 minutes. Okay, so tubular function, we want to see the tubular function, and we are injecting the dye, and if the kidney is normal, it will excrete the 30 to 50% of the dye within first 15 minutes. If there is excretion of less than 23% of dye during this period, regardless of amount excreted in 2 hours, and it indicates the impaired renal tubular function. Okay, so this is that our dye. So that means how much it is able to excrete the dye in first 15 minutes. That will be lab assessing. Another test for tubular function, urine concentration test. Okay, urine concentration test, how much kidney is able to concentrate the urine. For this purpose, a requirement, there should be restriction of water intake 14 to 16 hours. Collect of urine sample 1, 2, and 4 hours. So urine sample should be collected in 1 hour, 2 hours, and 4 hours, and measurement of specific gravity should be done in that urine. Okay, first water restriction should be done. Normal will be greater than or equal to 1.022. Decreased renal function if it is less than 1.020, specific gravity. This means it should be able to concentrate the urine, because we want to see how much the kidney is able to concentrate, and we are restricting the water intake. So it may not be reliable if there is water and electrolyte imbalance, low protein salt diet, liver disease, pregnancy, and lack of patient cooperation. And this type of test should be contraindicated in heart disease and early renal failure. There is restriction of water for normal health, and it should not be performed in a patient with heart failure and early renal. Another test is urine dilution test. Urine dilution test. So by the name dilution, patient is allowed to drink water after midnight. Bladder is emptied at is not allowed to drink. Bladder is emptied at 7 a.m. and water load is given. Water load is for the next 30 minutes. That patient has to take 1200 ml for next 30 minutes. And hourly urine is collected for next few hours, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. And in that urine, measurement of volume, specific gravity, and osmolality of sample are measured. Now, our interpretation, the specific gravity of at least one sample should fall 1.003. Now, osmolality should fall 50 milliosmol per kg. Okay, so that is dilution test. Means first there is water restriction and water load will be given, and after that urine will be collected, and we measure the specific gravity and osmolality. So in this way, dilution test is urine acidification test. So in this case, the ammonium chloride is given. Ammonium patient is given ammonium chloride in this dose of 0.1 kg per body kg weight. And when this is given, the ammonium is converted to urea to produce the acidification. Means how much it is able to acidify the urine. That test is being done by the kidney. How much kidney is able to acidify the. So for that purpose, ammonium chloride is given. Ammonium is converted to urea, whereas chloride now to counteract with the chloride is possibly formed, right, by to balance. Now in this case, hourly urine is collected 2 to 8 hours after ingestion. The pH and acid excretion of each sample will be noted, and it is normal. At least one sample should have pH less than 5.3. Right? And ammonia excretion should be around 30 to 90 millimole per hour. So if a kidney is able to acidify the urine up to pH of 5. We can say the kidney is able to acidify the that in acidic, because in acidic more acid should be excreted. So that test will be done as a tubular function test. Okay. Okay, these different tests can be done to assess the renal functioning. Okay, for as a general test, we perform urine analysis. Okay, measurement of serum, urea, creatinine, protein, different abnormal conditions, and all of these are the classification. Test that are test based on glomerular filtration. This is based on clearance test, different endogenous and exogenous. Test to measure the renal plasma flow. We can perform para-amino epitope test, filtration fraction, and test based on tubular function. There is concentration dilution test, 15-minute SPS excretion test, urine acidification, different classification of renal function test, and we have discussed these tests individually. So you have to know all these tests, how it is done, and interpretation part. Okay, that was for today's class. If you have any problem to repeat, I can repeat. Okay, you can just give over the chat. First thing is to be get repeat. So we have learned about these most things, different test based for renal functioning. Okay, and clearance test is very important. Urea and creatinine clearance, you once read from the book, right? From your any textbook thing is clearly past the one, right? Satyanarayan, you can prefer that book. There is well written about that, and about this different classification of individually you have to know. Okay, if you have any things to get repeat, you can give. Otherwise, we'll end today's class. If any confusion, you can write over the chat. Okay, that thing I can repeat. If you have any problem or have anything to get repeat. Okay, then thank you. We'll end the session.